Welcome to Microsoft Extreme, coming to you live from the Stardust Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. We've got some great products and information to send your way today. Glad you could be here. So sit back, relax, and soak up the Vegas atmosphere. And welcome our host for Microsoft Extreme, a product manager at Microsoft, Kari Hensian.
I think I've always wanted to do that. You know, I have to say it was a great ride, but I've heard that there's a ride called the Big Shot at the Stratosphere. I think I'm going to have to try that out after the show. We'll see. I think I'm prepared. Well, welcome to Microsoft Extreme. This is our third edition of Microsoft Extreme, and the first time we've had the pleasure of doing the show live from Las Vegas. We're very happy to be here. My name is Kari Hensian, and I'm a product manager in the Office group at Microsoft. And I have the pleasure of being your host for the next 2 hours. We'd like to welcome everybody to the Extreme event today. Especially, we have about 15,000 people from across the country in 30 theaters. And I'd like to extend my welcome to all of you out there. We have a great show lined up for you for Microsoft Extreme today. We're going to show you lots of new technology. And you know, coming down to Las Vegas and having Extreme here is the prime reason to start showing you this. You know, all of us at Microsoft are coming down to do Comdex. It's a little technology show here that happens in Las Vegas. And so we thought we would take the opportunity to share what we're going to be talking about at Comdex with all of you out there across the country. Kind of give you a sneak peek about the previews and things that we're going to be talking about over the next week. So what do you guys say? Are you ready to get started? Yeah. All right. Woo! We definitely have a lively crowd here in Las Vegas, and I'm sure out there we have a lively crowd as well. So what we wanted to do is first take a look at some of the things that are going on at Comdex. And so we actually have Ron Hamlin, one of our man-on-the-street roving reporter, who's going to be talking to us a little bit about what happens to prepare for Comdex. So is Ron out there?
Hi. A little later in the show, I'll be taking you, the Extreme audience, behind the scenes of Comdex. You'll get a chance to see what it takes to put together one of the largest computer events in the world.
Great. Thanks, Ron. We'll be checking back in with Ron a little bit later to see how Comdex is shaping up this year. All right. Before we get started, I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about some of the things you're going to be seeing today. We have a great show lined up for you, and one that you guys have asked for. We're going to actually take a look at the next generation of Microsoft products. So we're going to take a look at Office 2000. I've been a product manager, and I've been with Microsoft now about 6.5 years. And this is really one of the most amazing releases of this product I think we've ever had the opportunity to show you or give you a preview of. So stay tuned to see some great things from Office 2000. Next, because you guys gave us a lot of feedback that you wanted more in-depth information, we thought we'd take a minute or two to break out and talk a little bit more in depth about Microsoft FrontPage 2000 and PhotoDraw 2000. Both of those are new to the Office product family, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And then finally, all work and no play in Vegas is a bad thing. So we thought we would wrap up our show today and talk a little bit about some of the new upcoming games for this holiday season. So we're going to talk to you a little bit about Motocross Madness, which is a great new title, and also Combat Flight Simulator. So stay back, relax, and enjoy the show. Before we bring out our first presenter who's going to talk about Office 2000, we thought we would take an opportunity to go out onto the streets of Vegas and see what people here think about some technology. So let's actually jump back out and see what you guys said about some technology questions we asked you earlier.
Las Vegas, Nevada. The home of Comdex. The heartland of technology.
Y'all need reliability,
This city is buzzing with excitement.
You need easy use.
So let's find out how the latest computer developments
You need speed.
are impacting people's lives.
Oh, that's all right, Mama.
Have you thought about maybe what's going to happen to your land traffic burstiness? Now, do you think 56K is enough bandwidth for everyone? Or should people insist on ISDN or even an ADSL line?
Well, being an aerospace aviation and petroleum distribution engineer, you stumped me.
That's all right,
Land traffic burstiness, you know.
Oh, like traffic jams?
That's all right, Mama. Just
Hey, Elvis! Hey, do you prefer applets compiled into JITed bytecode interpretive language, or would you rather target the native CPU instruction set?
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
I can't understand the question.
How would you configure the sliding window optimizer?
Well, are you trying to optimize for latency or for aggregate throughput?
Reclamage, déjà?
So what is the single most important feature in a firewall for you?
I'm afraid I have no idea what a firewall is.
Well, there you have it. That's the word on the streets in the heartland of technology. Back to you, Kari.
Thanks, Ron. Now that obviously is a video poking fun at the ease of use of technology today. But ease of use is something that we at Microsoft take very, very seriously. And so as we show you the products today, we really hope that you see the work we've done to try to make the products easier to use. So let me go ahead and let's introduce our first presentation today. And before I do that, I wanted to let you guys know that all of you are tuned in to see us here live in Vegas. I also wanted to let you know that leveraging Microsoft NetShow technology, we're also live back in Redmond. And myself, I get to do a lot of traveling out and visiting with customers and sharing new products. But one thing we don't often get to do is share your feelings with our developers and testers back in Redmond. And so I wanted to let you guys know that today we have our testers and developers watching live as well. And so what I want to encourage each of you to do is anytime you see a feature you really like, cheer super loud, let them know how cool that feature is. Now if you see one you don't like as well, you can cheer for that one too. They're all great features. But definitely let us know if you like one a lot. Let's actually practice that. What do you guys think? What about a great new product feature? Woo! All right, okay, so hopefully we'll hear lots of that during this presentation. All right, so our first presenter is a product manager in the Office team. He's actually a coworker of mine. And he is going to come down and talk a little bit about Office 2000. So why don't you help me welcome Tom Bailey.
Come on now. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
Has anybody seen Tom?
Come on.
Tom?
Come on, come on, come on. Oh, hey. Oh, God, okay.
Oh, here he comes. Help me welcome Tom Bailey.
What a city. What a place. The sights, the sound, the excitement.
Tom, you had me going there for a minute.
I even won out there.
Did you win?
Yeah, Mark's collecting my money.
Oh, man. Yeah, there is a lot of excitement at Vegas. But the real excitement today, or at least this morning, is here at the Stardust.
It certainly is.
I have to tell you that I'm really excited that you're here to show us Office 2000. Are you ready to get started?
I'm ready to get started, but first I want to say thank you to everybody who's here today, and also we've been on the road for the last 4 weeks.
We have.
We've been out talking to different user groups across the country, and I'd like to say a personal thank you to our friends at the Capital PC User Group in Syracuse, and also to the New York PC User Group in the Big Apple. Those are two cities that hosted me last week. And weren't you in Dallas a few weeks ago?
Okay, so now I get to say hello to the North Texas PC Users Group in Dallas, Texas. Hi guys, love you. Great to see you. All right. I'll let you get started.
I'm ready to get going, but first, did you ask them already about, or did you tell them about our friends back in Redmond who are watching?
I did fill them in on the testers and developers back in Redmond.
All right, because it's different than me sending them a piece of email saying what features that I kind of like. So if you see something you like, feel free to fire up and give a little clapping and let them know what's great about the product.
Great.
Right?
Thanks, Tom.
Great. Thanks, Kari. All right, so I'm going to get started here. Kari already, I'm sure, introduced me. My name is Tom Bailey. I'm in the office marketing group back in Redmond. In fact, Kari and I are in the same group. And I'd love to see a show of hands here, first of all, to see how many people in the audience are using Office 97 today. Oh, look at that. Looks like about 80% or so. That actually is consistent with what we've been seeing on our user group tour. So just think of that, 80% of about 25,000 people who are watching today. That's just an incredible number. Thank you very much, and I'm sure Bill would be very happy to hear that. We'll make sure we tell him that when we get back to Redmond. And I guess my challenge then today is to show you just how compelling Office 2000 is as an upgrade to Office 97, and maybe at the end when I ask for how you guys think, we can you'll be able to see if I'm up to the task or not. Well, we've come a long way with Office. If you think back about 5 years ago, we introduced Office 4. And with that version of Office, it was all about integration. It was taking the core productivity tools, putting them into the same box, and giving a consistent set of tools to be able to use applications together pretty easily. In 97, which we came out with a couple of years ago now, it was about intelligence. It was about building in a bunch of new ease-of-use features to let you as individuals sitting at your desktop get things done more easily. And with Office 2000, we've done, as you're going to see sprinkled throughout the presentation today, we've taken both integration and ease of use to the next level, so there's something in it for everybody. We also have heard from customers that increasingly with the ubiquity of the web, they want to be able to use that environment to generate a whole set of new productivity enhancements. And so with Office 2000, as you're going to see, we've done a bunch of work to make it easier to streamline the way you work with people and information using the web. And I've got a number of examples to show you there. So with that, why don't we go ahead and get started? You ready for some demos? Ready to see some product? All right. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and start where most of us probably start our day, and that is checking email and schedules and tasks and that kind of thing. And so what you see on screen here is Outlook 2000, our award-winning desktop information manager. And most of you are probably Outlook users, but down the left-hand side here we have our views bar, which integrates together email, calendar, contacts, tasks, notes, that kind of thing, and really allows you to sort of use these different components very easily together. For those of you who are using Outlook 98, if I come up here and open up the preview pane, you'll be able to see that we've got, let me go ahead and open up this particular mail message here, and you can see a preview of that mail message, so you can get all the content, easier to find information there. Also, you're going to notice that the sender has sent it along with a piece of Outlook stationery. This was something we introduced in Outlook 98 and have enhanced and beefed up in Outlook 2000. And then it's easy if you don't want the preview pane or you want to see all the messages in your inbox, you can go ahead and just remove that. Also, Outlook is about finding and accessing and managing information more effectively, because we all know that there's sort of a glut of information coming in that we have to process all the time. And so what we've done is we've given you a bunch of tools to do that more easily and put them right in front of you. So for example, if I wanted to find information, I can just drop down the find bar and I can type in the individual who I want to find email from or email to, and I'll say find now, and you can see that these three messages in my inbox are either from David or to David. And if I want to make some modifications to these, I can. We've also taken a bunch of organization tools and put them in the same location, so you can just drop down your Organize toolbar, and you've got things like being able to move messages to selected folders. You can create rules on messages, so if something comes in from an individual and you want it to go store in a particular folder, or you want it to be flagged for follow-up automatically, you can do that. And then something that I like to use, particularly with my email from my boss, is I can go in and color messages from different people. So I'm going to go in here and type in my boss's name, and I can apply this color in red, and as you notice that when I scroll down here, there's David, and those email messages now are colored in different colors, so you can respond to those more easily. Okay, great. Well, let's go back, and I'm going to open up this particular message from Kari. Actually, Kari sent me this mail earlier, and you'll notice here that we have a hyperlink in this mail message. Now, in the past, hyperlinks are being increasingly used in email to connect different pieces of information, but the Outlook Views bar now can support shortcuts to different hyperlinks and to different applications and documents. So you can see I can just drag and drop my hyperlink over to my views bar. So if this is information I want to see on a regular basis, it's very easy to, to do that. And you can see I've got a shortcut to an Excel spreadsheet, PowerPoint presentation, Word document. You get the idea. All right, so if I click on this hyperlink, you would expect it to open up the web page. And of course, it's going to go ahead and do that. But in this case, we support web shortcuts within Outlook. and it will go ahead and open up that particular mail message, I think. It's going to open up that particular mail message here in Outlook. Come on. It's going to be, I hope it's not going to be temperamental all day here. All right, well, let's see here. It doesn't look like it's opening up properly, so let's come back up here. All right, well, it's beta code. It's beta code, you know that. always have to sort of point to beta code. Thank you very much. Well, if we clicked and we go ahead and open up this in the browser, interesting. I think that hyperlink is just not being very friendly today, so we won't show that hyperlink, but you can see how it can store them in the views bar. All right, so we're back here to our mail message, and the next thing that I want to do is down here we have a vCard that's attached to this particular mail message. Now, the vCard is an emerging internet standard which allows you to send contact information over the internet. And it's a very cool way to be able to communicate and provide information to colleagues and friends and customers. And so what Outlook provides is complete vCard support, so I can just drag this over to my contacts folder, and it will go ahead and drop that information into contacts. In this case, Outlook is smart enough to recognize that I already have information on Kari in my contact folder, and it will ask me if I want to add it as a new contact or I want to update the information with the existing information. And I can go ahead and click yes, and it will go ahead and just update the information in my contact folder. All right, so let's pop over to contacts. And here we are in my contact view, and I can use the tool over here to go find information on Kari. And there's Kari, and I'll go ahead and open it up. Now, in Outlook, with your contacts, you can do a whole bunch of different things. I'll drop down the Actions toolbar here, and you can see that we can create a new contact. You can even send a letter now from a contact, and it will automatically pick up the address information and put it into your Word document. You can create a new message or a meeting request, appointment. You can do a whole range of things, and you can see here you can enter in the information into the contact view. We've also added an Activities tab. We heard from customers that people wanted to find information based on contact. Information that happened in the past and information that was going to happen in the future. And so if you click on the Activities tab, it's going to go out and search through your inbox, search through all of your items here, and it will find tasks and mail messages and that kind of thing, and go ahead and populate those into the area here. Let's see here. Come on. I think I've done some things with Kari already. Doesn't seem to be finding them. Okay. I guess we haven't, oh, there we go. It just took a couple of seconds there. So we can see here that I've got sent items, I've got calendar items. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So calendar items, inbox items, tasks, and that kind of thing, so you can more easily manage your information that way. All right, so let's come back out here. The next thing that I want to do is people are increasingly setting up distribution lists, both personal distribution lists and distribution lists for teams and organizations. And we've given you some new tools to be able to more easily do that. So if we come up here, I can create a new distribution list. All right, and this will just open up the new distribution list folder. And if I want to type in a new team, we'll make this Extreme team here. And if I want to select members, this will go ahead and connect both into my Exchange store on the back end if you're working in an organization, for example, or it'll connect out to people using the internet. And so I can come down here and grab a couple of items. So let's grab David, and we'll grab Deanna here. If I want to add internet, folks over the internet, maybe personal contacts, I can do that as well, and I'll come down and grab the information from Kari, and it will support, let's grab her first email address here, and there she is, and you can see now I've very easily created a distribution list. When I save and close it, I can now take advantage of that. All right, so now that I've got the distribution list, let's go over to the calendar, because I want to set up a meeting with that particular team. So here we are in the calendar, and in the calendar we've done a few things to make it easy to find information and to also create meeting requests and things. And you'll see, first of all, if I hover over an item in the calendar now, you get this little tooltip which will pop up on the screen, and you can see exactly what that calendar item is all about without having to open up the message. What do you guys think about that? All right, great. We can also set up a new meeting with this individual just by clicking here, and we'll go out, and when we go to attendee availability, it's going to find this David's information automatically, and then when I type in Extreme, it'll go ahead and find the free and busy information for those contacts. Now this is both internal in the organization and people over the internet. And you can see here that it's going to find all the information at once, but with an improvement to Outlook 2000, if I want to expand this out and see free and busy time, it'll go ahead and pick up all the information from all these individuals. Okay, So let's go ahead and we'll pop back out to the inbox. And the last thing that I want to show you here in Outlook 2000 is some new functionality that we've added to the installation program in Windows. So let's reopen this mail message, and you'll see down here at the bottom a WordPerfect document. Now, can I see a show of hands of how many people have ever gotten a document and haven't had the right converters or haven't been able to open the document or something like that? Yeah, we kind of all have felt that pain from one time or another. And to help deal with that or improve that, we have come up with a new installation program for Office. It's actually, you get rid of the old Acme setup that you guys have used before. And we now have a Windows installer which will intelligently keep track and locate where these converters are. It keeps track of key files so that if you delete a key file, it will go ahead and automatically install that file for you. And when I go ahead and double click on this item, it's going to go ahead and open up. It's going to recognize we have a WordPerfect converter, see here, and automatically install it on the fly, and you'll be able to pick up that document without having to hack around with going and finding the information in your CD. I see this gentleman down here has been waiting for that for a while, probably. All right, and actually that's a technology that will be first introduced in Office 2000, but then built into Windows, both going forward and the existing Windows applications as well. So we're working on that right now. Okay, so here we are in Word, and I'm going to go ahead and create a brand new document in Word to show you some of the new features in Word 2000. So let me go ahead and open up this template. And Word 2000 has combined a number of ease of use features to help you just create documents more easily, and a number of new web features as well. So you can both create web pages in Word, and you can get information from your desktop up to intranets internally or up to the internet more easily. So let's take a look at some of these new features. First of all, people asked us, they said, why do I have to type? Why do I have to sort of be confined to the way that Word wants us to type? I want to be able to type wherever I want in a document. So we now can double click in the middle and we can just start typing. All right. All right, great. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'll select this, and let's go ahead and we'll increase the font size here a little bit so you can see what we're doing. And then I can also take advantage of the new drop-down WYSIWYG font dialog box, so you can see what the fonts are going to look like before you select them. All right, so I'll go ahead and pick that, and if you want to get back over to the left-hand margin, just go ahead and type over there. Then something we introduced in Office 97 was an auto text, was auto text, and this goes ahead and automatically adds structure to your document. You can set up auto text entries. And then when I'm here, the next thing that I want to do is go grab information from other places, right? You've got email coming in, you've got spreadsheets, you've got presentations, and in the past, copying and pasting hasn't been difficult, it's just been kind of slow, right? Because you can just copy once, paste, copy, paste. Well, now we've made the clipboard more flexible so you can go collect a bunch of information and go and put it in all at the same time. Okay, all right. Shall I go ahead and move on? It sounds like you already know what's going to happen when I show you that. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll go back out to this other Word document. And I'm going to go ahead and grab this information here, and we'll do a copy just like we did before, right? And then I'm going to scroll down here, and when I copy the table now, you'll notice that up pops a clipboard, and we can copy multiple pieces of information to this clipboard. I got the 2 word pieces of information. All right. And then next I'm going to pop over to my Excel spreadsheet. And you'll notice that I've got an Excel spreadsheet here, and if I want to copy this information in, actually let's do this. I'm going to pop out, and I'm going to open up a different spreadsheet here. I want to do this because this is formatted a little bit more nice, and I want to show you some of the integration that we've got in some of the formatting tools. So here is the spreadsheet that's got a really nice set of formatting on it. I can grab this information, I can go up and copy it. When I do that, you'll notice it up pops a little Excel icon on the clipboard, all right? And then I'll go back to Outlook, because we've definitely got email information that we want to take advantage of. And so I'll come in here, and I can go ahead and collect this information as well. And I'll copy it, and Outlook will pop up on the clipboard as well. So really nice integration between the different applications. All right, I'm going to pop back into my the document that I'm creating, and pasting this information literally is as easy as just clicking on that item, and it pastes in the information. And I'll go down here, and next I want to do a little cash flow information, and I'll click on the Excel spreadsheet, and you'll notice here, look at the fidelity that comes into the document, into the Word document. So for all of you, this guy down here saying, I've tried that before, and that was kind of tough. And then the next thing I want to do is add in the Outlook information. We'll drop that in there. Ah, look at that. Hang on a second here. Looks like I picked up a little paragraph mark there. There we go. And I'll go ahead and copy that in. And then the last thing that I want to do is to add that table. So we'll add the table in. Okay, so you see the table comes in nicely, but the relationship with the words isn't particularly good. But that's okay because we now can take advantage of some new table properties. And I've got the ability to align the table left, center, or right. I'll go ahead and keep it on the right, and I can wrap text around the table. And I'll go ahead, and you can see how I've done a nice little wrapping there. Okay. And then the last thing is that once we've got all the information in, which I do now, you can go ahead and clear the clipboard just by doing this, and we can go ahead and close out of the clipboard. So I take it you like the clipboard. Okay. All right. So the next thing we want to do now that we have all the information in the document is we want to be able to save this document up to the web, right? And we want to be able to save it in the universal file format for the web, which is HTML. Most of you are familiar with HTML. And we do that so that anybody with a browser can universally view this information. You get around the issues of not being able to view information, and you can also get it up on the web where people can more easily find it. And it literally is as easy as saving to a hard drive or to a file server. And let me show you what we do here. In this case, I'm going to do File Save as Web Page, which was the old Save as HTML. And when I do that, it's going to open up a brand new File Open, File Save dialog box. And you can see here on the screen that we've taken advantage of the feedback we got on Outlook with the Views bar, and we've now added that. So you can very easily point to like History, Desktop, Favorites, Web Folders, that kind of thing. And in this case, I'm going to go ahead and point to my web folders, and I want to publish this up to our marketing team web. All right? And to do that, I'm going to go ahead and open up the marketing team web, and you can see that I've already got some documents in this website. And now when I click Save, it's going to go ahead and publish this information directly up to my intranet. No more having to go through a webmaster to do that. You can just publish the information directly up, and you can see that it's just done that. And then before I go up to the web, let me go ahead and get out of these two documents. Okay? And now that I've done that, let's pop up to our website and see what we've got on the web. Okay, so here we are up in our team web, and you can see here that I actually created this thing in Front Page 2000. We've got information on team members, projects, proposals, those kinds of things. And in this case, the projects area is where we collaborate on our documents. And you can see here that it's automatically linked the document that I published into the website. Okay, and when I click on it, it's going to go ahead and open that up as you'd expect in the browser. All right, so here I am in my browser. Yeah. Universal viewing via the browser. Very cool. And you'll notice that in the browser, and as I scroll down, we now have, look at the table. Look at the fidelity of the table. We've got the fidelity of the spreadsheet comes out. We have done a bunch of work to make full fidelity rendering of HTML and the ability to go in and round trip that information back into Word, or in this case, if I hit the drop down, you can see I could take it into Front Page if I want, or into Notepad if you wanted to get really hardcore about modifying your information. But generally, you'd want to take it back into Word. I see we got some Notepad guys down here. Okay. But before I round trip that information in, I want to talk about a couple of additional things that we've done to take advantage of the fact that documents are now sitting on top of a web server, which is generally more intelligent than just your traditional file server, okay? And what I'm talking about is the ability to both subscribe to documents that are on the web and the ability to have inline discussions within the context of the document itself. And I'll describe those as I'm showing them to you. So let me go ahead and click on the discussion toolbar. And when I do that, this is in your browser, right? And I can go down here, and if I want to subscribe to a document, I can click on the subscribe tool, and it allows me to subscribe to an individual document, which is the default that's open here, or I can subscribe to a folder. Let's say your team is working on a bunch of different documents. You subscribe to the folder, and what happens is that when somebody goes up and makes a change, it will ping your inbox and tell you, hey, that document's been changed. Do you want to go take a look at those changes? You click on a hyperlink, it fires it up in the browser, and you can more easily stay up to date on that kind of information. Yeah. Cool. The next thing is that if I want to, you can identify when to be notified. So we come in here. When anything changes, documents created, you get the idea. Automatically picks up your email address here, which is nice. And then also you can identify when to be notified. So when a change occurs once a day or once a week. So if you want to manage how much information might be going into your inbox, you can do that as well. And I'll go ahead and just subscribe to this document. And it says you successfully subscribed, say that 5 times fast, to all changes. And we'll go ahead now, we've subscribed to that. The next thing is we have added the ability to have discussions on documents. And a great example of this is what I was doing the other day. I was reviewing a white paper that a colleague was putting together, and I had a whole range of comments, right? They'd attached it in an email message. Well, I couldn't very well go in and use the little comment fields in Word, and so I ended up just typing out this tome in email and sending it back, and they had to try to figure out what the situation was in the document. Well, with discussions, I can now go ahead and insert them directly into the document itself. So when I do this, you can see that little sticky notes come up at the end of paragraph marks. And if I scroll down, I think I may already have one in here. Maybe I don't already have one in here. So let me go ahead and add one. You'll notice that, say for example, at the end of this paragraph mark, I can click and I can insert a discussion. So it's on the table, and you might want to add more financial information. Okay, and I can click OK. And that information, then you can see, look at that. It comes nicely in there, in line, threaded in the document itself, okay? If I want to reply to this, I just click on reply. I can come in here, type in my reply, click OK, and you can see how you can now more effectively have discussions and collaborate with other people on documents. Okay, let's go ahead. Then you might say to me, well, if you wanted to go in and make a change to that document, it's sitting there in HTML. How the heck are you going to get it back into Word so that you can go ahead and make those changes? Well, we've made, like I was mentioning before, we've given you the ability to round trip these documents, and when I click on the Edit button, it's going to fire up Word and completely round trip this document back into Word and give you all the tools that you've got in Word to be able to make those changes. So here we are, right back in Word, just like you were before. All right. Couple more things that I want to add to this document before we're finished with it. First, I want to add a hyperlink to some other information. And you might say, well, hyperlinks are kind of passé. You just type in a URL and you're done. Well, we heard from a lot of customers that they want to be able to customize those links. They want to be able to point it to a particular, like marketing team web, as opposed to www.something. And so we've added a new insert hyperlink dialog box. So when you click on that icon there, you can go in, and if I want to customize the name here, I can do that. You can even have some fun with creating your own screen tips. So, you can do check this out. You guys could get more funny than me probably. And you can go ahead and type in the file name or surf off to recent files, browsed pages, or inserted links. And in this case, I've already got one here that I've already used. Actually, I'll grab this one. And when I click OK, I now have a customized hyperlink. You hover over the top and it says check this out, right? All right. Great, and then the last thing that I want to show you here is some of the new multilingual capabilities of the product. We have now, Office 2000 is the first truly global Office suite. And what I mean by that is we've got the ability, for example, to automatically detect language and give you the proofing tools that you need to go ahead and utilize that particular language. So you can see here that I'm clicking on French, and down here in the taskbar, sure enough, it says French. Right, so it recognizes that. Well, you might say, well, you've already installed those proofing tools, but if I come here and add German, all right, and we'll click off of that, and you'll notice that on the fly, it changes and recognizes that you're typing in German. I see this guy down here saying, yeah, I'm going to contact my colleagues overseas with that. And then when I also have the proofing tools, so I can do a right mouse click and pick up the spelling error there and make that change on the fly. So, good. And we've also got some intelligence. I'm not going to show it here, but the ability to change user interfaces. So if you went in here, I could just go ahead and very easily switch to German for the user interface if I wanted to and start creating in German. You can save those settings, so if you're traveling overseas and get to a computer, you can dial into the network and boom, up comes German or up comes English or whatever you want to have it set as. So that's basically some of the improvements that we've made in Word and a little bit in Office. What do you guys think of those? Pretty good? Great. Okay. Next thing is going to be PowerPoint. I'm going to fire up PowerPoint and just show a few of the new ease of use features and web features that we've added in PowerPoint. Any PowerPoint users out there today? Creating presentations? All right, cool. All right, well, the first thing you're going to notice if you're already a PowerPoint user is our new tri-pane view, which is here on the screen. Not quite yet. Not quite yet. I'm tri-pane, but this is better. So we've got the ability to, okay, you can switch to the screen now to let people know. All right, maybe I ought to just sort of start clicking. Okay, cool. All right, so you see the tri-pane view here. You've got, the reason why we did this is customers said, well, I'm always clicking back and forth between notes view and outline view and slide view. So we put them all in one place for you. So I can use the outline view to scroll through my slides very easily. I've got the notes view up here, so if you want to start typing in information, you can do that. And of course, you've got your slide view to begin doing things in your slides. Now, anybody use that table draw tool in Word, the old pencil and eraser to actually create your tables? Oh, no? All right, well, I got to show you that. This is now across all of Office. I can go to the table draw tool, and you'll notice that I've got this little handy pencil and an eraser that I can just go ahead and in PowerPoint directly, I can create my own custom tables. Just drag in my rows and my columns very easily. Yeah, okay. You can do that in Word. You can do that in Word today, but something you can't do in Word today, but you'll be able to do in Word 2000 is use diagonals. How's that? Very nice. And then if you want to go ahead and erase out some of these cells, you think you made a mistake right here, you just go ahead and use your eraser and it'll automatically merge those cells together. Okay. All right, so let's go to the next slide. The next thing is we've added auto numbering to PowerPoint 2000 as well, so I can go ahead and type in and it'll automatically pick up the 5 here. Okay. And you may have noticed also that the text auto-fit to the particular slide. Well, we've also done that, so if you're verbose like me, you can fit as much information on a particular slide if you want. It'll keep sort of shrinking up that text to move on to an individual slide. And then the last thing is that once you've got the presentation done, you want to get it up on the web, right? Because a lot of times, actually probably more than anything else today, PowerPoint presentations are being used for research and to share information with other people. And so I can go ahead and now take advantage of the ability to save to the web, just like I did with Word, or in this case, we won't save it up there, but let's go ahead and just preview and see what it looks like in your browser. So I can select the web page preview mode. This is something that's shared across all the Office applications, and when I do that, it's going to go ahead and fire it up in the browser for me. Okay? The nice thing about PowerPoint, the great example here, is that we've also added some additional functionality. So if you want to scroll through your presentations, the outline view becomes JavaScripted, and you can go ahead and scroll through. Thank you. I can also expand and contract my notes view if I want. The outline view. I can also open up the notes view here and use the horizontal scroll to go ahead and scroll through my presentations. Just like this. And then if you want to see what somebody might view if they were to go full screen in their browser on the web, you can go ahead and click and open this thing up. This is, again, in the browser, if you can believe it. And I'll go ahead and start clicking through the presentation. We have full support for animated GIFs, and you can see that you can add a little pizzazz to your PowerPoint presentation. So a lot of end-use features and web features in PowerPoint. Okay. Now I want to go out and show you, take a couple minutes to show you a little bit of Publisher. Anybody a Publisher user out there? Oh, look at that. Excellent. Well, those of you who use Publisher certainly know that it's kind of like a marketing department in a box, is the way that we like to talk about it. And it really allows you to do some great things in creating communication for customers or colleagues and that sort of thing. And with Publisher 2000, which is now in the Small Business Edition Office box, the Professional Office box, and the Premium Office box, it's now much more tightly integrated with Office, so you can use the Office tools to create your Publisher presentations. And it's also added in a bunch of new design expertise to make it easier to create some pretty powerful looking publications. So for example here, I'm going to go in and create a brand new publication here. And you can see that when I do that, I get the Microsoft Publisher catalog. And very WYSIWYG, I've got all these wizards. So newsletters, brochures, catalogs, flyers, you name it, anything pretty much under the sun you can go ahead and create. We've also got publications by design. We've got 20 different sets of design themes, things like business cards, calendars, catalogs, so that you can all have a very consistent look and feel across all the materials that you may want to create. And in this case, you can go ahead, I'll scroll down, and you can see you've got some different styles to choose from here. And I'll go ahead and pick scallops, because scallops just sounded kind of fun. And I'll go back out to my publications wizard, and let's create a quick publication, which is just a one-page publication like a sales flyer. And I'm going to go ahead and scroll down here. You can see I've just got dozens to choose from. And I'm going to go down and get this straight edge because it looks pretty good. And we'll bring it up. And you can see it's going to change the publication, and I can go ahead and now customize each of the elements of this particular item. We also, over on the left-hand side, if we scroll out on the screen here, we've got a wizard that allows you to walk through and pick from different color schemes, right? So there are a whole bunch of different color schemes you can choose from here. Very cool. These are also color schemes you're going to see Mike Angiulo. Yeah. These are color schemes that you're going to see Mike Angiulo with Front Page show later, because they've integrated a lot of these same schemes into Front Page, which is very nice. And then we can go ahead and scroll through. I can choose landscape. And we'll go ahead and do sidebar heading with the picture at the top. So you can see here you can really go in and customize this very easily. And when you're done, you click out. You've always got your wizard here, so you can back up if you want or go get additional information, or you can go ahead and hide it and get started just typing in your publisher document. So here I'm going to go ahead and just begin typing in. Let's do like holiday sale, and you'll notice here when I start typing, we too have the auto-fit text, so you can go ahead and get that all into one place. We've also got the ability to go in and, all-weather clothing. We can do bulleted lists like you can in Office now. Okay, you get the idea here, and it'll go ahead and, let me just hang on one more here. There we go. Okay. And you can see here we do have that auto-fit text, so I can get that back again as well. And then finally, if I want to change this piece of clip art to a particular sale item, you go ahead and double click on it. And all the Office applications come with a brand new clip art gallery, which is got, I think Publisher ships with over 16,000 pieces of clip art and 400 images, and it has a whole range of content. And you can see here that I can go ahead and modify content very easily. It's also got a new home page. We like to think of it a little bit like your browser. You've got your home page with all the categories here. And if I wanted to go down, if I wanted to import clips, I could just click here and go out to my hard drive or out to the network and get different clips. I can also type in categories here, and it'll go ahead and pick up that particular category. And you can see that if I wanted to add the backpack here, I could actually literally shrink this down a little bit and drag and drop it on here, and you can very easily use and modify clip art using Publisher 2000. Okay. Great. So, and I'm going to go ahead and now save this, and as you'd expect, we have the same integrated file save as. So I can go out and let's just publish this to my desktop, and I can save it, and we can get out of it. Okay. Now, next thing is we want to, why don't we go ahead and wrap that up, because I think I'm actually pushing time a little bit here, and I have some other things to show you when it comes to data access and data analysis. All right, so far we've talked about sharing and collaborating on information using Word and PowerPoint and even Publisher. And the next thing that we've done is we heard from customers that regardless of whether you're in a small business all the way up to the enterprise, that there's a lot of data sitting in different databases, whether it be Access or SQL Server, these kinds of things. And it's really difficult today, or can be difficult, for kind of the mid-range user to connect to that data and deliver it out to everybody in the organization. Because we don't necessarily want to have people be Excel power users or Access power users to be able to take advantage of key business information. So what we've done is use the web and some new intelligence in the web browser to be able to deliver interactive web components in Excel and web forms in Access to the web in the browser and allow people to interact with the data. So let's go ahead and open up Excel and show you what I mean. Okay, so here we are in Excel 2000, all right? We've got a Excel spreadsheet here, a very basic Excel spreadsheet. And what I first want to do here is I'm going to, let's go ahead and show you a little ease of use improvement we have here. A lot of people said, I like to add different information at the end of lists, but I don't want to have to go reformat that all the time. So you can add information to the bottom of list there, yep. And let's say we have about 300 units of that. You can see, boom, it automatically even picks up the addition, subtraction, and that sort of thing that you've got in the spreadsheet. Okay, cool. Some Excel users, yeah. All right. And then the next thing that I want to do is I want to chart this information. And so I can go ahead and just pick the information that I want to chart. All right, so we'll pick that information. And the charting engine was introduced in Excel 97. And so for those of you who haven't used the charting engine, it's very cool. It gives you the ability to do all kinds of different charts. I can even use my little preview tool here to see what the chart's going to look like before I actually select it. But in this case, that looks pretty good, and I can go ahead and add this chart in here very easily. Okay, so let's go ahead and expand this out and get it looking just like I want it to here. All right, and check this out. This is something new in Excel 2000. Let's say you want to tighten up the look and feel of the spreadsheet a little bit by shrinking up the rows, or the columns, pardon me. Come on. There we go. You got to click twice more quickly. And then you can see here that the chart is intelligent enough to actually go with the spreadsheet and modify as well that way. So it's just a nice little time saver there. Shrinks it up. Yeah. Okay. And once we have the information sitting there now, in today's environment, well, in Office 97 environment, it would be very difficult to get this information even statically up to the web, right? Because you don't have the ability to save directly to a web page. Well, what we can do, one, if you just want to send static information up to the web, you can now use the same tools that I just showed you in Word to get information up onto the web. But more and more people want to be able to give other people the ability to interact with that data. You don't want just static data. You want to be able to go open your browser and go in and add new numbers and check things out and do some analysis on your own. And so we can now do that using what we call web components. Okay, these are Excel components that allow me to capture that interactivity and deliver it in the browser. So to do that, instead of just saving as a web page, I'm going to select the chart and click on this box, Add Interactivity. Okay? And I'm going to go ahead then and point it to the web folders. Again, we'll go up to Marketing Team Web. And let's go ahead and we'll point to that particular website. And this time I'm actually going to save another one. Let's do Sales 2 instead. And I'm going to publish this information directly up to the web, just like I did with Word before. And then when I go out to the browser, I don't think we're in the browser here anymore, that's PowerPoint. So let me go up and open a new instance of IE. Let's see what we got here. It's saying, Tom, you're doing far too many things at once here. Okay, and also running on this laptop, running Exchange Server, SQL Server, all kinds of different things. We're really putting it to its paces. Somebody's laughing down there. Okay, and so I'm going to go ahead and click on Projects again, and this should see, okay, sales2.htm, there it is, delivered directly to the web, and when I click on it, it's going to go ahead and open up in the browser. You can see here that we're in the browser again. I'll undo the discussion toolbar, and there you are. You've got now a chart and the spreadsheet within the browser. And I'll use my little IntelliMouse to sort of scroll down nicely there and get to the way I want to look at it. And then you can see here that I have, if I want to go in and modify information, let's just type in 10% and it will automatically change that chart now, again, within the browser itself. You don't need to have Excel on the desktop to be able to do this. You just open it up in the browser. Also, people want to be able to modify the data or kind of format the data and have some of their other Excel functionality. And you can see here that when I open up my toolbox, I can go in and select different numbers here. And if I want to change those to red, I can do that, underline them. You can see how I can use Excel functionality right here in the browser. And I do get a lot of questions from people who say, well, Tom, what happens to the underlying data? I publish it up there. I want to be able to make sure that nobody else can go in and actually muck with the file that I saved. Well, all this is actually happening just in the browser. It's not modifying the underlying data, but we do give users the ability to round trip that data back into Excel, and you can see that I've now got all the data. It doesn't bring the chart back, but you can go in obviously and easily update that with a chart. And so you can round trip this and people can take advantage of it for their own purposes. So, okay. So we really hope that with web components in particular that we're going to give people a way to take information, get it up onto the web, and let people interact with it. And the last thing that I want to show you is Access, and we've also done some work there as well to make it easier to get at information in the business. Any Access users out there today? Holy moly, excellent. Okay, all right, so let's show you some of the new functionality in Access. I'm going to go ahead and first open up an Access database here. And what these first few features are more the ease of use stuff. And then we'll get to the web form in a minute. So what we have here is I'm now in, you'll notice that we've added a new views bar to Access 2000 so you can get at information more easily. You can see I can scroll down here and get at this information. Okay. I also can come in here and if I want to open up product, it will go ahead and expand this out. Actually, hang on one second here. Let me go up to category. I think this is the one I want. Yeah. Now, in the past, you've been able, if you wanted to open up a particular table, you've only been able to do one at a time, as you know. And so what we've done is given you the ability to access information more effectively. So if you want to expand this out, you can now see multiple tables in a single view. And if I wanted, say, to get this one as well, there we go. Good. We can now see that information more easily. All right. The next thing we want to do here is to go into Product. I'm going to go out to the product form and I want to open this thing up in Design View. And you'll notice that here we are in Design View, and what we've done is we've added conditional formatting. Some of you may have been using that in Excel. We now have added that to Access. So if you want to go and really highlight key numbers, you can come in here and I'll select on this item here. Come on, select on that item here. Maybe I can. There we go. And I will go up to conditional formatting. Okay, and the default formatting is up here on the top, and if I want to add a condition, it's very easy to do that. I'll go ahead, any number that's greater than 30, I want to have highlighted with a background of red. All right, so let's go down in here, get a background of red. We can make the text white, so it'll show up. and we'll OK. And then when we go out and view this information, we've now connected to the database on the back end, and I can scroll through this, and you can see you can have conditional formatting now within your Access forms. All right, great. And then let's go back out to Design View here, and one other thing I want to show you is if we come in here and we modified, hang on one second here, I'm going to go ahead and not save that. We'll go back into Table, and if I go into, which view do I want to show here? Let's go into Design View here, and what I want to do is I want to modify one of the objects or one of the field names in a database form or in a table. Well, in the past, if you modified that and anything was connecting to it, it broke it, right? And this guy's like nodding his head down there. That was a pain. Well, now if we go in here and type in, say, new retail price and save this thing, we can go ahead and pop back out to the view here. Hang on, we'll get back out here, and we'll come into Form and Product, and hello. That may also be a little beta thing right there. Oh, hang on a second here. Nope, I guess that's oh, that's too bad. It must be a little beta bug there, but normally it would pick up new retail price in there and keep all the links to all the other tables and forms and things that are linking into that piece of information. So thank you for clapping on that one, even though I couldn't show it to you. All right, and then the last thing we want to do is talk about what we call data access pages, the last thing that I'm going to show you here today. And this is where you can now take forms and Access, like a web form, and connect it into the database on the back end and deliver this functionality through the browser. All right, so let's take a look at what I mean there. And let's go ahead and open up a different version of Access. See if we've got that here, right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this data access page. It's going to take me a couple of minutes to create it, but it's pretty easy, so I did want to show everybody how we can do this. All we have to do is launch the new design view for data access pages. And here we are in the design view. And all I've done to set up for this demo is to create a query. So anybody who's used Access knows how to create a query. And I'll go in here, and I want to create my own form front end for this database. So let's go ahead and expand this out. There we go. And so here I've got a bunch of different fields, right? And the first thing that I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and make this, I'm going to grab promotion here and drag it over, and we're going to be able to group filter on this particular item. All right, so there it is. We pop it into the design view. Then I'm going to go ahead and I want to have last name in here. Just drag and drop it over to the design view. And if you want to get some sales information over here as well, you can just drag and drop it in and drag and drop whatever you want onto the form. You get the idea. It's pretty cool, right? Okay. Now check this out. I can also go ahead and get photos from a file here. I've got a photo file in the database. I can drag it over here, and we'll go ahead and expand that out because you're definitely going to want to have your salespeople here on your screen. And we've got that information in here. And then when I want to connect to this data, all I have to do is go up, we'll connect into the view, and we now are going to connect into the data on the back end. I've got the ability to go out and select the information, and you can see I'm now connected to, in this case, I'm connecting directly to SQL using Access. No more going through the JET database engine if you don't want to. You can go directly into SQL, and I can scroll through this information, and you can see I can very easily now find this information. Right, and we'll get down here and look at Janet Reno decided to join our team. Yeah, it was great to get her on the team. And then the last thing that I wanted, to do here is I've actually kind of gussied up the form a little bit here so you can see it a little bit more easily. And you can see that I've added a theme to the background of this, and I've also changed the font sizes and things a bit. And if I go down to Extreme, you can see you have all that information. I've also added a couple other controls in here that allow me to capture notes information from salespeople and that kind of thing. And one of the cool things is that you can either take this information and publish it directly to the web, like I did before, or I can go in and take advantage of what's called Office Email. And what we've done is we've taken some of the Outlook functionality and built it into each of the Office applications. So if you want to send this an email, you can just drop down the mail header here, and I can just type in the recipient. It'll go ahead and connect that, and then I'm going to go ahead and send a copy of this Access form, this web form, this data access page directly in Outlook. And here I am. It pops that over there. All right, hold it now. Don't clap yet. You want to probably see what I just did, right? And we'll go ahead and go out here. Let's see if it comes in. Oh, there it is. Nice, timely thing. You can see we're still working on some of the information that comes in here. But we now have promotion results. I go to Extreme, and boom, I've got this connected to the database on the back end, all right? Very cool. I'll come down here. I can scroll through the information very easily and come down here and if I wanted to get to Janet's information here, you could go ahead now and directly type in something like, these guys are really great. And what's really cool is that you can, check some of these boxes and have just information delivered directly into the database right from email or via the web. So that really wraps up the main part of the demonstration for at least the first 6 applications for Office. Mike's going to come out in a little bit and show you Front Page and PhotoDraw. But again, ease of use across the entire suite, better web collaboration, and richer data analysis with Office 2000. So how'd we do? How'd the guys do back in Redmond? Great. Good. Glad you like it. Pretty cool, huh?
Wow. Great presentation, Tom. Thank you very much.
All right.
Appreciate
Thanks a lot.
it.
Great. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
What did you guys think? All right. Now, Office 2000, we're actually getting ready to provide you, the Extreme audience, with a preview edition of Office 2000. But I wanted to let you know that this product is on track to ship in the first quarter of next year. So it'll be in stores by the summertime. So you'll be able to get your hands on Office 2000. All right. Let's go ahead and let's take a break, and we'll be right back. Now, I have to say, I told the Vegas audience we were taking a break, and people are getting up and leaving. That was a quick break, 30 seconds, and that's it. We're back, and we're live. So come on back as quickly as you can. All right. For the next part of our presentation, we wanted to make sure that we fulfilled your guys' requests. Now, we know that the audience here is a very technical one, and one that likes a little bit more depth on products from Microsoft. And so what we thought we'd do is we'd take 2 of our newest members of the Office family, Front Page 2000 and PhotoDraw 2000, and give you a little bit more of a drill down, a little bit more in-depth analysis. So what I'd like to do now is I'd like to introduce a program manager in the Front Page 2000 group to present to you Front Page 2000 and PhotoDraw 2000. So I'd like to welcome Mike Angiulo.
Front Page 2000 and PhotoDraw. Oh, this is scary. All right, you guys ready to see some Front Page? Let me hear by a show of hands, how many of you have seen a version of Front Page before, 97, 98? This is going to be cool.
This is awesome. Now, I have to tell you, ever since Mike got his little zappy scooter,
I love this
he's
thing.
now just a blur on campus. We all just get out of the way. So I'll go ahead and I'll turn that over to you, Mike.
Well, why would I walk? I mean, it goes twice as fast with 0 exercise. I like to call it walking 2.0.
Oh, nice, nice. Take it away, Mike.
But seriously, folks, I'm here to show you guys Front Page 2000 and a brief introduction of PhotoDraw. I see a lot of you have used Front Page before. The general mission of the product is to let anyone be able to create and manage a good-looking, functional website without having to be a programmer to do it. We have 3 key design goals that we focused on for this next version of Front Page. The first was working great with Office, and that means we share a lot of similar features, the file dialogues, the toolbars, the menus, the way the app feels, background spell checking, that kind of stuff. The second category of functionality is in creating exactly the site that you want. Something I've heard a lot from customers is that Front Page is cool, but when you want to get that extra flexibility, when you want to go and change HTML and have it be left alone, when you want to take the theme and make it look a little bit different than the ones that come right out of the box, Front Page is hard. Well, with Front Page 2000, we've really opened that whole category up. The third group of features is about updating your site, and I'll show you some automatic hyperlinking and some reports view. But enough about the talking. Let me get started. Let's pretend I'm a marketing dude at this AdventureWorks company you keep hearing about, and I've been told by my boss I have 30 minutes to create a website to get people excited about a new sales contest. So not knowing much about creating a website, I'm going to launch Front Page, and the first thing that you see when I launch the application is that it doesn't come up with an Explorer and an Editor, two different windows like it used to. It just comes up into this one combined view. And the Editor Explorer integration is one of the primary ease of use improvements that we've made in the product. It lets me just launch the product and start typing. We share the code with Office for our toolbars, so the features that you've seen in the other Office demos of being able to drag, if I tell it on command, it's time to drag, multiple toolbars onto the same line, and you can raft them and do the customization, and the stuff that you've seen in the other Office demos, all of that works the same because we're sharing code with Office. Another thing that we've done is we've done more work on our menus and toolbars, so we've synced up the menus so all the commands are in a familiar order. But like I say, the easiest thing to do is to just get down and start typing. So let's say I'm going to make the Adventure Works Sales Contest. And let's make that a heading so you can see it. And what better incentive for a sales contest than a big grand prize? Let's say if you beat last year's sales results, you win a Zappy. Because what better prize than your own motorized electrical personal transportation device? But I can see this red squiggly underline here is telling me that I misspelled Zappy. This is one of the Office integration features that we have new in 2000, which is background spell checking. So no more mistakes in your web pages, just like you're used to that in the rest of the Office applications. But seeing how I'm a pretty slow typist, I'm just going to go out and grab last year's sales results right off of my desktop. I can open it up here and show you that this is a Word document with a table and some text. And to bring this into Front Page, I just drag it and drop it. Front Page automatically does the conversion to HTML. You don't have to go and open up old Office documents, whether or not they're Excel, their Word, their PowerPoint, even WordPerfect, or any of the other kind of formats that Office can translate. You can just drop them into Front Page, and it'll put HTML down onto your page. So let's see, I'm going to take this heading effect that I applied. Let me get my toolbars back. I can take this heading effect, use my new format painter, and apply the same effect to text down here. And the format painter is another really cool feature that we've implemented in 2000. It works and feels like the Office apps that you're used to using, but in Front Page it can even pick up web-specific things like cascading style sheets or dynamic HTML and paste it around in different places on the page. We also have multi-level undo and other things that you're used to seeing. Let me go and save this document before I go and trash it. I save it to really show the Office dialogues here. This is the same dialogue that you just saw in the previous Office demo. And what's so cool about using the same dialogue is it makes it easy to save your web pages to your local drive like your desktop, or even to a web folder, which is just going up to a web server. So since I already know where the files like to live in my company here, I can just go save my web page directly there. We kind of bypass a complicated publishing step that way. And I'm going to just call it default and make a new home page. So I've created a page, and now that I've saved the document, Front Page has popped up this folder pane. And what that's doing is it's showing me the rest of the files that are up there on the website. This is one of the parts of the Editor Explorer integration that I'm talking about. It makes it easy to see which other files are in your site. Doing things like dragging and dropping and opening documents becomes a lot easier that way. But the document here is still pretty plain. So what I want to do is go and apply a theme. You saw themes in Front Page 98 last year, and we've done a lot of work with this feature. It's a pretty cool feature because you can go and pick one of these styles and apply it across your entire website, and that's going to update your banners and buttons and bullets and fonts and colors. But we heard some problems with the feature. For one, users said that the content that we shipped last time was just plain ugly. I mean, people would go, okay, so you saw it. I worked on the feature, so I can say that. So what we did is we added 10 brand new themes that are shared with Office now. In fact, the whole feature is shared with Office. So when you install themes that you saw in a Word demo, you go open up Front Page, you'll see the exact same list. We've added 10 new ones that were really oriented towards small business. Themes that aren't going to be quite as playful, something more traditional. So I'm going to take one of those now and apply it to all the pages of my site. And I'll see that it's going to Front Page is going to walk through all of the files. It's going to update the colors and things, and even update files that I have open here. Once that's all done with, I'm going to have sort of something that looks a little bit more coherent, in a moment. It'll apply the background image and stuff. And okay, so that's pretty neat. I'm going to add a header to all the pages in my site using shared borders, which is a nice way to be able to do something once and have FrontPage change all of the pages that you're working on. That's really what FrontPage becomes very powerful, where you can go and say, insert a page banner to the top of one page, and you'll see that as I keep working on this website, all new pages that I create will automatically have that banner on it. The kind of thing you can make a fix in one place and have your whole website be updated. So now this page is looking a little bit better. It's still not exactly what I want. It's a little bit plain, and I'd kind of like to spice it up. So what I'm going to do is go and try some of the dynamic HTML effects. This is another feature which is brand new in FrontPage 2000. We had some dynamic HTML stuff in FrontPage 98, but it only worked in Internet Explorer. The effects were pretty simple. You could only apply one effect at a time, and users were saying it was a little bit too limiting. We now have a new interface that lets me go and pick events, so I can say when the page loads, I select what I want to move here, and say when the page loads, I want this text to come flying in from the right. And what FrontPage has done is it's put a blue box around the text that I've animated, and it even shows me a tooltip there that says this text is going to come fly in from the right. In fact, I was telling you before about my format painter. I can actually pick that effect up and paste it on another piece of text and say that text too. So let's see what that looks like. That's pretty cool. Let's launch it in IE and see what this thing looks like. The page is going to come in, the text comes sliding in, and you're not impressed. Well, let me show you what's really cool. What's really cool is that the page looks exactly the same in the new version of Netscape Navigator. So being able to create a page once, the same JavaScript. Okay, so you must be like my customers. Maybe you are the customers. People want to create a page, they want to create a site and have everyone that comes to the site see the same thing. They want it to look good, but they don't want it to break in browsers. They don't want to have to deal with 2 copies of the whole site. And that's some of the things that we've done with dynamic HTML. So some of the features that I've touched on so far, the Office integration, the same dialogues, format painter, background spelling, user interface, and that's the kind of stuff that you'd expect from an application that's in the Office suite. But I'm going to go to the next level. I don't really like this theme, and that's what happens. You apply a theme to a page, you start using it, and you say, you know, I wish it were a little different, or I wish I could use my logo as the banner. Now, you can do that now with FrontPage 2000. You can customize the themes and create your own. So what I'm going to do now is launch PhotoDraw and build a brand new banner for this company and integrate it back into my FrontPage theme. So here's PhotoDraw 2000, Microsoft's brand new business graphics application package, and this is really designed for the non-graphic designer. Somebody like me, I can come to this and maybe I have a digital camera picture, some clip art, or a drawing that I did in Word. You can bring it into PhotoDraw and easily apply effects to it and save it back out to use on the web or use one of their templates to make a greeting card. Let me show you how it works. The first thing that I'm seeing is the Visual Open dialog. And what the Visual Open dialog does is it shows me the graphics that I'm going to open. You can open as many as you want. And so instead of having to go through file names, you can actually see the previews. So what I have here is a picture of me. This is on Everest when I finished that little hike. And so I'm gonna cut this hiker out because I don't really want the blue background. And I'm going to overlay it onto the banner. So the first thing I can do is go to the cutout tools. And I can see that there are a whole list of ways that I can cut out. I can use an edge finder. I can draw out what I want to cut. I can cut by shape. In this case, I'm going to cut by color. I'm just going to bullseye this black. And what PhotoDraw did is it says, so you want to cut out what I've just highlighted? And I say, yes, that worked great. And now I have just a copy of the hiker alone without the background. Now let me go to this logo. This logo is kind of plain. It looks very flat. I want to spice it up a little bit, so I'm going to apply some of the cool designer effects. And the effects that PhotoDraw has a whole lot of effects. I mean, I can come down and make it look like a pointillist image, but that's a little highbrow for me. Watercolor's a little more my taste. Grab this damp translucent effect and just watch it change in place. Everything about PhotoDraw, from the menus to the toolbars, is all WYSIWYG. So you don't really have to understand technical terms to be able to apply an effect. Same thing goes for something like a shadow. I said I want to apply, wow. excitement. Again, multi-level undo, a demoer's favorite feature here. And all right, so I could apply a shadow very easily. I'm going to go and move along here. I'm going to take that logo and take that hiker and build up the banner. I can grab the various pieces that I'm working on and just drag them right into the page and drop them without double clicking. Bear with me here for a second. I think I might have double clicking turned on by default or something. Let me actually just do a copy, come up here, paste my hiker in place, drag it to the point where I want it, come up here and do the same thing with my logo. Say copy, paste the logo in place. I'm going to add some text to this image. Let's say that this is my AdventureWorks homepage. Come down here and apply a Verdana font. Come back to my image. Perhaps try to drag the text around and drop it. See that it's working. Be very excited about that. When I'm done with this banner, I can actually go and save this thing out for the web. And one of the cool things that happens in PhotoDraw is that I don't have to know the difference between a GIF and a JPEG, exactly how I want to save this thing out. That's where a lot of users get stuck. They build a graphic with better success than I just had, and then when it's time to go use it, they're not quite sure what format. So PhotoDraw makes a very easy set of choices for me to actually go say, I want to save this thing out for a web page, and it's going to show me various representations of how it'll look. I can see that it's going to be a little bit too blurry as a low-quality JPEG, but maybe as a high-quality JPEG, its download time is going to be faster than a GIF. So like any good cooking show, I've accounted for this little, this little glitch, and I've got already built that banner. I'm going to go into my themes feature and pull in a banner and a button that I made and customize this theme. This modify button is really the heart of the theme customization in FrontPage 2000. I can easily change the colors, the graphics, or even apply style sheets to a theme now to change the way it looks. So first let me go to the graphics and say that I want to change the banner. I can go out to find the image that I was working on. I actually made a better looking one here before the show, and you can see that I can drop that right in place. Now the buttons that I'm using don't quite match, so let me go change the buttons that I'm working on at the same time. And I can see a little preview here in FrontPage that I've got a little mountain button, and I can even pick a second copy of the graphic for a hover effect. And what this is going to do is when I actually show this page in the browser, when I mouse over the button, it's actually going to change an effect. And that's using a JavaScript that you don't have to write. FrontPage does that for you automatically. Another thing that's cool about the themes is that I can change the colors. And what we did here is we borrowed a page from Publisher's Book, and we use a very similar interface to be able to change all of the colors at once for a theme with a single click. Another thing that you can do is go to the new color wheel, which lets you pick any one point on the wheel. Let me make that a little darker. And change all of the colors at once using some color wheel heuristics that FrontPage determines automatically. Or if you want to be very specific and say, I really just think that pink hyperlink is going to be hard to read, I can use the brand new color picking tools that are in FrontPage 2000. These tools let you get to the standard colors easily, but more importantly, launch this new color picking dialog. All of the colors that are in this hive are the browser-safe colors that don't dither in either Netscape or in IE. So if you pick a color from here, again, with the cross-browser pages, cross-browser color, I'll show you some other good stuff in our compatibility tab later. I can pick colors that I'm sure will be the same in both browsers. I also have an eyedropper feature that'll let me go pick a color like off of a logo or a graphic. And likewise, the style sheets are something that I can do. So I'm going to save this and say this is my extreme theme. And when I save this and apply it to all of the pages in my site, FrontPage is again going to go out, and you see the new banner that I've applied. And now if I were to launch Word and apply a theme to a document, the extreme theme would just show up in my list. So another shared feature here. I'm going to add some more pages to this site now, because FrontPage is cool, but it's more than just about creating a page. It's about building a whole website. And when you look at the problems that you have when you're building a website, you end up with things like broken hyperlinks, pages in multiple directories, pages that don't look the same. And when you start building up more pages to the site is where you see FrontPage really shine. So I'm going to come to the navigation view, And in this view, I can easily go to this New Page button and click it a couple times and create some more pages in my site. Let's say I want a page on the new products that we have to sell, maybe a page of some links. Now when I go back to the marketing page that I was working on, I can very easily add some automatic navigation bar buttons. I'm going to say Insert a Navigation Bar, and Front Page has a whole variety of options, and this picture here is explaining that view that I was just working on, for creating automatic links to the other pages. So you can see a button here that says New Products and a button here that says Links. These are created because back in my navigation view, I have a page that says New Products and Links. The cool thing about this view, you think that's cool, wait till you see me build it all the way up. The cool thing about this view is that you don't just use it once to create a navigation bar. I can come back in and add another page at any time, and the links will all be automatically updated. So let's have a page called the Suggestion Box. In fact, you've seen this view last year, and if you're using it at home, I can click the Insert key here to make some new pages. What you know is that it looks great in a demo until you actually make a giant site. So let me make like a 30-page site here. And you can see that the view gets kind of impossible to find your way around in. So what we've done is we've made some options here for working on larger sites, like cram it all into one view or look at it horizontally or sideways. But more interestingly, I can go just look at a subpart of the site. So I just open that guy up. If I come back to the nav view, I can pick any one of the parts of this site and just view that subtree at a time. So what a lot of people have are a site, yeah, so you know what this is for. You've got one part of your site that's static and another part of your site that you're updating all the time. Now you can just focus in on the part of your site that's changing. Let me go back and actually delete some of these pages, and I can remove these completely from the web. And the nice thing about this view is that you can add pages in here, you can delete pages from here, and always be changing your site around. And when I go back to my home page, I can see that an automatic link to my suggestion box page just showed up. So that's some of the automatic linking features that you can do in Front Page. But let's start building up some of those pages. I'm going to just Control-click on this New Products, and it'll take me to my New Products page. Make sure that my theme here is updated on all of the pages in my site. Go to my Extreme theme. And once I do this, the rest of my pages should all stay intact. I'm on my New Products page. I've got my new banner. I'm going to go and grab a picture off of my desktop. This is just a GIF file that I have laying on my desktop, and drag it and drop it into the Front Page editor. Now, I showed you PhotoDraw before, a lot of great, really powerful image editing features, but Front Page even does some of the really simple stuff built right in. Like if I have a graphic and I want to make it a thumbnail that links back to the original graphic, I can do that with one click. Or if I want to take this graphic and make it a little bit darker and then get rid of that ugly gray background that created, I can do that kind of stuff too without even having to go out to another application. Now next is a problem that's really been something that's hard to do in Front Page in the past, and that's work with text and images on the same page. I'm going to grab this is just an HTML file that I drag and drop into the editor. Everything, of course, imports this way. And I want to sort of play with the way this text wraps with the graphic. Now, if you've tried to do this stuff in the past, you've seen that kind of getting the image exactly where you want to put it on the page is pretty tough. You don't have very precise control. Well, at least you didn't in Front Page 98. With Front Page 2000, I have absolute positioning, which lets me put graphics, text, tables, or images anywhere I want on the page, including overlapping text and graphics, all using the new CSS 2.0 absolute layering and positioning spec. So that's a brand new feature here. And if I pull up the positioning dialog, you can see some of the features I can do. I can say how I want the image to wrap. I can say exactly the pixel location that I want it to appear. And I can get exactly the effect that I'm looking for here. Now, one of the problems with doing latest and greatest browser features like cascading style sheets or dynamic HTML is that not all browsers on the internet support those things. If you're building a site and you want to make sure everybody's going to view your site the same way, we have a feature called the compatibility options, where I can pick from a very simple dialog. I can say, I care about nav only or IE only, or more importantly, I probably care about both IE and Navigator, 3.0 browsers and later. And you can see down on the bottom that front page has turned off some things like VBScript or dynamic HTML or things that didn't work in those older browsers. In fact, I can even uncheck whether or not I'm going to have the front page server extensions available. So in the past, you would build up a site, you would look at it in an older browser, you would see something that didn't work, and you would get frustrated. There was even a study done that said that 25% of the development costs that go into commercial sites go into browser compatibility and figuring out how to make the site look the same in both browsers. So now you can actually turn off any feature that isn't cross-browser right from the get-go in the product and be sure that you're building a fully cross-browser site. So I'm going to save this file into the web, and FrontPage is asking me where I want to save the graphic. This is one of the cool things that every time you're working on a file, every time you put a graphic into it, FrontPage pulls that up into the site. So you don't end up anymore with a graphic reference that points back to your hard drive after you've published the file up to the internet. So that must have happened to somebody out there. I'm going to go to my new links page and do some of the hyperlinking features. I'm going to say, learn more about the grand prize at www.electricvehiclesnorthwest.com. And you can see that FrontPage automatically turned that into a hyperlink. Well, one of the things that happened in the past was that users would create a hyperlink like this, and then they would want to type over the link and say, Zappy home page. FrontPage now has IntelliSense that will automatically keep that link pointing to the original URL and only change the display text on the page. So we've done a lot of work with knowing how people create hyperlinks. An even easier way to create links, though, is using our new combined editor and explorer. I can simply go over to my left pane, drag an image, drop it in place, and that just creates a hyperlink. So being able to get from files and drag them and drop them to create links is very powerful. You could have done that in the past with our 2-window model, but you had to launch 2 applications and tile them and drag and drop between them, and it was pretty tough. Now what I want to do is make a link to this event calendar. Now this event calendar is a kind of scary file. This is a file that was written by a friend of mine at work named Russell. Now you might not know Russell, but you probably know someone like him. He's a grouchy developer type who thinks Notepad was God's gift to the HTML authoring community. He does everything his way. Once he had a typo on one of his web pages, so I thought I'd do him a favor. I opened up the page in front page 98, changed a couple words, saved it back out, and what did that do? Who knows what that does to your files? That rearranges some code, changes your indenting. People are shaking their heads. It messes up the file is what it does. Well, with FrontPage 2000, one of the key new features that we've done in the editor is complete preservation of HTML. That means the way it's laid out, the spacing on the page, everything stays the same when you use the editor. All right. So I'm going to show you how that stuff works. First, let me open up the page here in Notepad. So you can see that in Notepad that this is a very simple HTML file. There's no body tag. Some of the tags are in uppercase. It's indented a certain way. There's some blank rows. Some of the tags are in lowercase. When I open up this file in the front page editor now and go look at the HTML view, I can see that these 2 files are exactly the same. Let me lay them right side by side. Exactly the same. We don't change the order. We don't change the spacing. All of that stays intact. And that's really sort of the first level of HTML preservation. We go beyond that, though. We let you actually come into a view like this and use the regular editing tools like insert a new row into this table and say that the sales results are in. Come over here and create a hyperlink. Now, I've actually edited this table and played with it, but when I go back to the HTML view, not only has FrontPage left the rest of the table intact, but the new row that it inserted, it actually did it using the same formatting and style as the rest of the document that I've been working on. That's because I went into the new HTML source tab and I had told FrontPage, always preserve my HTML. In fact, you can be very specific about how you want it to create new formatting, or even click this cool button that says Base on Current Page. That's where you can train FrontPage with one click. Make HTML this way. Show it an example of the document that you've written, and new documents that FrontPage writes will look the same. So HTML preservation's there. In fact, this view's even become more powerful. I can go and use my regular features that I'm used to in the WYSIWYG view, like insert a table. Let's insert a 4-column table. And you can see that it actually puts the code right in place. If you're used to using a product like a home site type code editor, a lot of the stuff that you were used to in that product now works in the HTML view right here. And I can always jump back to the normal view and edit both ways. And in fact, there's even a third type of editing called reveal tags. And this is like the old WordPerfect reveal codes feature that lets me see what's going on in my document right here in the Word style mode. And this is great because I can hover over a tag and see the actual HTML. I can use the tags to actually select things like this table to delete it. And when I'm done, I can go turn those tags back off, save this document, and Russell will never know that I didn't use Notepad to make the changes. So that's some of the stuff that I've done on linking, but now I want to get real fancy. I'm going to go to the suggestion box, and I want to make a page where people can come, tell me what you think about the contest. I'm going to build a form here that saves the results of a form into a database, set up a database query that can take the records out of the database and put them back on the page. Now, FrontPage can do that now with absolutely no programming, no scripting, no understanding database. You don't even have to launch Access to make this simple kind of form. So let me show you how easy this is. I'm going to go get my Forms tools. I'm going to drag this toolbar off, which is, of course, one of the new Office toolbar features. Insert a couple of edit boxes. I can come and say one is for name, and one is for just comment. Now, FrontPage has always had WYSIWYG forms editing, and in the very first version of FrontPage, we had a great feature in here where you could save the results of a form directly into a text file up on the server. So you didn't have to configure a CGI script. You didn't have to know much about server programming to get a form that actually works. Now, the brand new feature in 2000 is I can send these results to a database. Now, down here, I can indicate any ODBC database I want, whether it's on this server or another server, or if I don't know what ODBC stands for even, I can click this button that says Create Database. And now what that's doing is really slick. FrontPage is looking at the form that I made. It's seeing that I have two form fields, name and comment. It's making a brand new Access database that has database fields that match up exactly to my form. It's going to save it into the web. It's going to put security on it. It's even going to configure ASP on this page so that the form is going to work on the browser. And it's going to do all of it with that one button. So FrontPage has successfully created a database. So that's it. I'm going to actually come here. I'm going to save this page, which really now is an ASP page. So I can save this page, change the file name even, and FrontPage keeps the links all working, and let me preview it in the browser and show you this thing actually run. And I can launch it in Netscape, I can launch it in IE, all of the forms and the database stuff is completely cross-browser. So I can say, Mike built a database just now. I can come down to the Submit button. You can see FrontPage has automatically configured a nice confirmation page that tells me what I submitted, and that's it. I actually just put a record into the database. But that's only the first half of the problem. The second half is how do I get results back out of a database, and that's even easier. I can say Insert Database Results. It already knows that I have a database, so I don't have to go and find it. It connects to the database. It gives me the list of the fields that are in the database. So the first two that I put in were name and comment. I can remove like browser type and timestamp, although it's tracking those too. And when I'm finished, I can choose whether I want to lay the results out in a table or I can lay them out in a list. Basically, it creates a region here where I can come in and type right in place. I can say comment, and I can say this is where people said name. Preview this guy in the browser, and you'll see that this is really running live. I just see the comment that I just typed in, Mike built a database just now. I can type another one. Mike is happy that worked. Click Submit, come back to the page, and you can actually see that this is really working. I mean, that's automatic ASP. That's the kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff that's pretty hard to do in the past. I mean, you want to build a form, you want to save the results, you don't really want to have to know how all that stuff works. But the nice thing about the way FrontPage does it is it didn't make some wacky special proprietary format. It just made a real Access database. You want to go open it in Access, you can edit it there. It's a great way to get started and to build up a website without having to be a programmer to do it. So I'm actually going to close down some of these pages and save them and show you that what I've actually done here is really built a live functioning website. I can click around these links. You can see that when I hover over these buttons, how it changes to smoggy gray. That's the hover effect I was telling you about. I can go around this site. I can see things like dynamic HTML. I can see cascading style sheets in use. I can see some of the image editing features, linking features, and even a live functioning database site. So that's the kind of site that I can make in 15, 20 minutes using FrontPage, and everything that it's done is working out of pure, clean HTML. I did it by creating even links to Russell's page without corrupting anything. So now that the site's exactly the way that I want it, I'm going to come and I can maybe look at the navigation view for the site. I can come look at the way the hyperlinks are laid out in the site, or go to a brand new feature in 2000 called Reports. Now the Reports view is a set of 13 different ways to look at like the health of your website. It's kind of hard to read some of that text up there, but what it's showing me are how many files do I have in the site, how many pictures, how many unlinked files, do I have any slow pages or older files. Those of course are settings where you tell FrontPage if a file has been up there for 72 days, flag it as being too old. Or if it takes more than 30 seconds to download on a 28.8 modem, flag it as being too slow. This is the way that you can go easily look at your site and see if that you have any problems with it. And like FrontPage, it's not going to just tell you that you have a problem, but it's going to make it easy to change and fix the problem too. I can double click on broken hyperlinks and actually see a list of links that haven't been verified yet. I can click a Verify Hyperlinks button that's going to go out to the web and actually test each one of these links. And if I find that one of these links is wrong, I can open it up, change the URL in one place, and every single file which used that link across my whole site gets updated all at once. So you find a problem in FrontPage, you fix it once, and the whole site stays working. So I think that this site is ready to go. Now, when I'm done with it, I can actually go to this new view called Review Status, which is designed to work the way I see a lot of people working in organizations. Like, I might build the site, but before that site goes live, I'm going to need to get permission from my manager. So I'm going to say that the home page is awaiting manager review, so it should be assigned to Priscilla. Now, since the very beginning, FrontPage has been a fully multi-user product. As many people can be editing this website live at once, and this new review status view is a way that you can assign ownership of files. I can come down and say that this events file really needs to be assigned to Russell, enter values directly into it, and even indicate that certain files aren't ready for publishing yet, so they'll get left behind when you go publish the rest of the site. But really, that's it. I built a site. I've seen some of the Office integration features, the things like the toolbars and menus, the dialogues, background spell checking, Format Painter, the Office integration features. I've also seen some of the tools that let me create exactly the site that I want. That's exact HTML, control over the theme. I didn't get into some of the stuff like full cascading style sheet support, so you can create CSS files and link them in across your site. And finally, updating your site, making that easy, being able to add some pages and having links appear, being able to have a reports view to go see if there are any problems in the site or to assign pages out. I didn't get into some of the other cool stuff like VBA. You can write macros now in FrontPage for the first time. We ship VBA with the rest of the Office apps, and I could have written a macro that could walk through this entire demo. So that's it.
Amazing demo, Mike.
Thanks.
Thank you.
My work here
FrontPage
is done.
2000 and Photodraw 2000. Mike Angiulo. All right, for more information about the products you've seen so far, Office 2000, FrontPage 2000, and Photodraw 2000, I would like to point you to our new website, and that's at microsoft.com/office/preview. So this is a place where you can go to get more information about the products you've seen so far in our presentation. Now, you've all had a chance to experience live Office 2000. We also want to let you know that you're not going to leave here empty-handed today. You get to experience Office 2000 for yourselves at home. So each of you out there in the audience will receive a copy of the Office 2000 Preview Program Beta CD set. Sound good? Some free software? Great. Take it home, try it out, and play with it and see for yourself how Office 2000 is really a great application set. I did want to make one note. We were told backstage that there are going to be a couple of theaters out there who did not get the CD set. We wanted to let you guys know that we just happened to have burned the CDs this past Thursday. That's how soon we're trying to get this code to you guys. And the Extreme audience is actually going to be the first group to actually receive Office 2000 beta. So just wanted to let you guys know you're among the first to be able to preview this product. Okay. So now, just to let you know that for those who aren't going to receive the CD set today, we definitely want you to make sure that you turn in your feedback form. We're going to take that feedback form and send you the CD set within the next week to 10 days. So if you don't get it today, you will get it soon. All right, with that, I'm going to go ahead and check back in with our on-the-scenes raving reporter, Ron Hamlin, and see how Comdex preparations are going. Is Ron there?
Hi, Ron Hamlin here in front of the Las Vegas Convention Center, where I'll be taking you behind the scenes of Comdex, where people from all over the world are setting up displays of new products and new ideas to show to over 200,000 attendees. The future of technology and digital gadgetry is what Comdex is all about. This is one of the largest computer events in the world. This year, over 2,400 companies and exhibitors will be in this massive facility showing off more than 10,000 new products. The purpose of Comdex is to help people get a richer understanding of technology, a sense of test driving and comparing products, and to help them make the right strategic decisions concerning their own technology. This is very much an international event as well, with over 100 countries represented as exhibitors, speakers, and attendees. This is Renee McKay, Program Manager for Microsoft, who's responsible for various aspects of what goes on here at Comdex. Renee, that must be a real awesome job. How long does it take you to set up?
There's a team of us back at Microsoft Corporate, and we work with the different divisions at Microsoft, determining the product priorities and then building the demonstrations and the demo booths and the theater presentations, all to sync up for our presence here at Comdex this year.
And how long has Microsoft been coming to Comdex?
We've been coming to Comdex since about 1989.
What's new this year from Microsoft specifically?
It's a very, very exciting year for us here at Microsoft. We will be demonstrating Microsoft SQL 7.0, actually launching the product here live at the Bellagio Hotel, and we're going to be having that screen in the theater, the main theater, so everyone can see the live launch that's here. And also to support that, we'll be having a hands-on workshop for SQL 7.0. We'll also be highlighting Office 2000, our new next version of Office coming up, and then the Visual Studios. They're all at 6.0 on their product lines, and we have web TV and handheld PC and just a whole gamut of all of our products.
So with all this cool stuff going on, do you get a chance to get out and see the city at all?
Very little.
There's more than just technology being consumed here. Over 50 tons of brochures and other materials will be handed out, 28,000 hotel rooms booked, 18,000 taxis hailed, and hundreds of show tickets sold. There are also thousands of computers, cell phones, pagers, and modems in use this week. I'm here with Bill Sell, the general manager of Comdex. Bill, can you tell me a little bit about the attendees at Comdex?
Well, 220,000 attendees are expected here in the coming week. It's the record breaker for us. We're up from about 211,000 last year, so it's tremendous growth in the industry and also here at Comdex.
What about the partnering that goes on here at the event?
Well, a lot of companies have partners here. Obviously, the largest of these contingents is with Microsoft. 350 companies are going to be sharing the booth space here.
I noticed this year seems to have a little more of an international flair. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
We're looking at about 36,000 international attendees coming from 131 countries, kind of like the United Nations of the international computer industry.
And finally, the keynote speeches given by industry luminaries such as Bill Gates and others are the real highlight of the week. So if you're a computer enthusiast and you're in Las Vegas in the middle of November, then Comdex is the place to be. Back to you and the Microsoft Extreme show, Kari.
Point your business in the right direction with Microsoft MapPoint. Designed for everyday business use, professionals can use MapPoint to locate addresses on a map. You can print out a detailed map or export it to a handheld computer. A great tool for those quick deliveries. Identify geographic trends by importing client data and creating a map by zip code. MapPoint is integrated with Microsoft Office, which means you can add text to your map and paste it into brochures and presentations. And your map can be shared on the internet. High-quality maps are at your fingertips. Know where you're going with MapPoint from Microsoft.
MapPoint is another great product coming soon from Microsoft. Now, Microsoft is very serious about software. And so for the majority of this session, we've had a very serious presentation about new functionality in Office. But as I said, all work and no play just really doesn't make Microsoft employees or people sitting in the audience very happy. So what we thought we would do is take some time here at the end of the show to show you some great new upcoming games from Microsoft. So we've asked Pete Parsons from our Interactive Media Group to join us. Now, Pete is a part-time motocross stud and World War II flying ace. So here to show us Microsoft Motocross Madness and Flight Simulator Combat Edition, Pete Parsons. And he's coming, he's coming, he's coming. Here he comes, Pete Parsons, everybody. Woo! You'll notice that Pete is dressed in his attire.
That's right.
Did you wear that down from Seattle?
Actually, I rode a nice little desert ride down from Redmond so I could get here and show everybody some killer games.
Cool.
Yep.
Show
So ready to go?
I'm
All right.
ready.
So hi, everyone. I'm Pete Parsons, Games Product Manager, here to show you two killer new titles from Microsoft. The first is a newest edition of our successful Madness line of products. And as you can see, on the screen, we're going to have some motocross. There we go. The clips you're seeing here on the screen were actually the inspiration for Motocross Madness. These are called the Crusty Demons of Dirt. Now, the Crusty Demons of Dirt are basically a bunch of guys who go out in the desert and just get freaky huge air on their bikes. They're nuts. As a matter of fact, we actually use these motocross dudes in the design and development of Motocross Madness. That's me, actually. So we use them in the design of Motocross Madness. Now, some of you probably don't believe that, but it turns out that motocross guys basically like to do three things in life. First, go out in the desert and just get huge air on their bikes. That's pretty much a given, right? Second, chase biker babes, of course. And the third is develop motocross simulations that dynamically tessellate 7 million polygons in a real-time terrain rendering database. Let's get right into the game. Okay, you got lots of killer options in the game, lots of different types of racing. You've got Baja racing, that's your waypoint racing like they do down in Mexico. You've got national racing, classic American track racing outdoors. Supercross, this is the big kahuna of indoor stadium sports. Big jumps, even bigger air. The star of the show is what we call the stunt quarry, and that's where you go out in the desert, just like the guys you saw and do one of 16 nasty stunts. It's pretty awesome. Okay. Now, there's a number of different things you can choose from. You can choose the types of races you're going to do, your opponents. We've got a number of different terrains to choose from. I'm actually going to choose Arizona Exploration. We also have a way to select the type of rider you'd like, as well as tune your bike in the garage. Now, I'm going to get right into the game. You can use this with any type of controller, but I'm going to use our brand new motion sensing Microsoft Freestyle Pro. Just allows me to operate the game however I'd like, not restricted to a joystick or a keyboard. It's a lot of fun. Now, a couple things you're going to notice in this game. Okay, I'm just going to do a couple Brodies here to warm up. Okay. Now, this is the coolest thing about this game is that we have two physics models, one for rider and bike, and that allows you to have awesome control as well as killer wrecks. Notice we have real-time shadowing going on here, just beautiful terrains. And whoops, excuse me. Oh yeah. All right. Oh, and he crashes anyway. Well, that's one of the funnest parts about the game is that crashing is as fun as doing the stunt. Let me turn back around. Okay. Number of different views to look at. We've got a chase view. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? Right on. Okay. I'll show you one more. This is really cool. Not for the faint of heart when you do a first-person view. Okay. Now, I want to show you a little feature we have in the game called the Thrill Cam, and that allows you to be your own crusty demon of dirt. I was wondering, what do you think we have, what do you say we have Kari do a stunt for us? Would you like that? Right on. Okay.
Now, I'm always trying to be a crusty demon of dirt.
You shall be. Okay, here's the controller.
Okay.
I'm going to operate the Thrill Cam and show these folks how this works. You see, let me actually, you know what? Let me get you something nice and tasty here.
Cool.
You guys see where I'm going? Everyone see where we're going here? Straight ahead there. You ready to rock?
Ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Okay, let's go. Ooh, nice approach. Look at the speed. She's going. She's in the air. Oh, look at that, a Superman.
Oh.
And she lands it. All right. You know, Kari, we actually have an opening in the games group. I was wondering, you might have to come over and join us. That's
really?
Awesome. Yeah, office
You know,
may not be your gig.
Oh.
Okay, well, let me stick to games. You stick to marketing office, all right? Okay.
Thank you.
Cool. Well, that's Motocross Madness. It actually just won Editor's Choice in both PC Gamer and Computer Gaming World, so we're pretty excited about it. Now, how many of you heard of a little product we have called Flight Simulator? Anybody? Okay, that's actually the best-selling flight simulation of all time. And we went out and asked our customers what they wanted to see in a new product, and can you guess what they said? Put guns on the planes. You know it. Well, we delivered on that, and it's called Microsoft Combat Flight Simulator. It's an ultra-realistic European World War II aerial combat game, and I know you're going to love it. Now, realism is the key with this game. In fact, you can fly 10 warbirds in over 70 different missions over Europe, and you're going to love it. So why don't we get right in the game? We'll go to guns, check 6, and we'll be ready to rock. Okay, right on. Here we are. There I am. Oh yeah, Henkel never had a chance. You know, we actually worked with aerial combat veterans, aces of World War II, as well as aeronautical engineers, to make sure that everything in this game was just perfect. Look at that. This is a brand new terrain rendering engine we have. And I'll just do a little peel off. Oh yeah. Right over the top of Paris right now. It's one of 35 different cities we have in the game. Now let me change planes. Get out and show you all the different kinds of planes we have. So we have, go in and select what you'd like here. Okay, we've got the Spitfire, P-51, 2 versions of the ME-109, all the great planes of World War II, Hawker Hurricane, the Focke-Wulf, and of course, the Boeing 737-400. Now, not a lot of you realize this, but the Boeing 737 was one of the hottest air combat fighters of World War II. And I'm going to show you how this baby became a flying temple of destruction in the skies. That's actually the coolest part about the game, is that you can, all of your existing flight sim customers, you can download all of your airplanes and scenery into the game. So you can dogfight over Manhattan or fly a Lear during the Blitz. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Come on, come on. Oh, and do you see I got him right before? Let's get out. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Right on. Okay, I'm going to drop a few bombs over my target. And I'm going to do a little victory roll here. Unfortunately, with the 737, it turns into a victory death spiral most of the time, so might have a little problem. Anyway, that's Microsoft Combat Flight Simulator. We're really excited about it. Both of these products are out on shelves. Okay. And thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Pete.
Thank you very much, Kari.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, now I've been told I have to clarify. When we said that a couple audiences out there that the CDs weren't making it to a couple stations around the United States, we wanted to let you know that it's very few of you that actually will not walk out today without the CD set. We apologize for that. The freight just didn't get to the theater on time. We will definitely get those to you within the next week to 10 days. So that wraps up our show for today. I want to take a moment to say thank you to everybody who spent 2 hours with us on a Saturday to look at technology, especially those of you in the 30 theaters across the United States. We appreciate your time and hope you found this time to be valuable for you. I'd like to go ahead and bring back our presenters just to give them one more round of applause for their presentations today. So I'd like to invite Tom Bailey, who presented Office 2000 back on stage. Mike Angiulo for Front Page. And Pete Parsons for Interactive Media Games. Thanks, guys. You did a great job. All right. That wraps up our show for today. We'd like to ask that all the people in the audience hang tight for just a few minutes. The local presenters are going to come up. We have some great giveaways for you. So be sure to fill out your evaluation form so you can get your beta copy. Thanks, everybody. From Vegas, this is Kari Hensian signing off for Microsoft Extreme. See you guys in the spring.